Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Reverend Marcia, Premier Gloria, Ashley, and each and every one of you who are here this morning. It's an honor and a privilege and a blessing to share with you this morning. Because as I share with you, I'm sharing with myself because this is a journey for me. And our theme today is go within so we can rise above. And I'm going to start off with this Proverbs. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So we move forward this morning because before we can rise above our circumstances, before we can overcome our challenges, before we can fulfill God's promise or purpose within us, we must go within. Yeah, so as I work with people, I see that there's something greater going on. There's a greater need. And the fact that they have it. It's just that they don't know it yet, or they're not, somehow they misalign themselves. And so with that, we're thinking it's a money issue or it's a work issue or it's that, but we got to go within. Everything flowing out of our lives begin within us. And we have to know that and hold that. Our words, our choices, our relationship, our peace, everything, our purpose, everything begins on the inside. And what I've also learned is that we keep talking about what is my purpose? Oh, I don't know my purpose. But for me, when I look at my experiences over the years, I can truly see what my purpose is. Because, like they say, success is that if you see a need or see a problem and solve that problem, then that will bring you forth into success, brings you the money, brings you all the other stuff. But when you look at our life, the Bible say all that we need, God has already provided it. We're on this earth to experience what He has already provided. So for me, I went deep and I said, okay, let me see what it is. And I look at whatever challenges I had. I look at the financial challenges. I look at family life. And I just look at the history. And then from there, I could see, okay, this need fixing or that need fixing. And I look into myself and I try to do all the same. Then now I'm seeing where there are other people with the same issues. And so you realize that you were on a path so that you can help others through that path. So today I invite you to pause, not to focus on what's happening around you, but to invite what's happening within you. Because when we change what's happening within, God changes what begins to happen around us. So let me ask you a question, right? What is the truth about you? What is the truth about us? And that's a very important thing we need to focus on. And perhaps an even more important question is who told us that we're this or that, or we can't do this or that? Have you been listening according to God's truth? Or have you been living according to the labels, the experience you have had, the mistakes you have had, the rejections you have had, or someone else's opinion? Let's just take that in. What is the truth about me? Today, I pray we leave here remembering who God says we are. That's the key thing that we need to focus on. The truth about us, many of us are not living from truth. We are living from stories, stories shaped by childhood, stories shaped by disappointment, stories that have come through broken relationship, stories by rejection, stories shaped by fear. Eventually, those stories begin to sound like truth, you know? But Jesus reminds us in John 8, verse 32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So we have to ask ourselves, is this God truth or simply something I learned to believe? Because there's a difference. The truth about us is not what we have survived, what didn't work, what we have lost, or even where we are today. That's not the truth about us. Those are experiences. They are not our identity. God says, for we are his workmanship, created in Jesus Christ unto good work. And that we can find that in Ephesians 2, verse 10. You are God's workmanship, not God's mistake. You are his masterpiece. You are not your failures. You are not your fears. You are not your past. Life may leave scars, but scars never determine identity. Many of us are still healing, but healing does not mean we're broken. Healing means God is restoring us. Because Jesus said the kingdom of God is within us. That means that we have been searching for what is never far away. It is always here because it is in us. God has already placed his spirit, his wisdom, his peace, and his purpose within us. And if we go within, we can never go without. The empty cup principle, as I was looking at this, something came across and I said, wow, let's see what this is. Can I be honest? Many of us are tired, not just physically. We're emotionally tired. Some are spiritually tired, mentally tired. We are pouring into everyone else, our children, our family, our ministry, our communities, our career. We're pouring. We just keep pouring, pouring. And somewhere along the way, we stop pouring in ourselves. Even Jesus withdrew to quiet places to pray because he realized he got to fill up himself. So we have to learn that at some point in time, we have to take a moment to pause. The truth is simple. We cannot pour from an empty cup. As women and men, we're not going to leave the men out. Actually, you're here, and I think Robert is here. I think I saw him. We have often been celebrated for sacrifice. You know, you do good. No, you work hard, you get the promotion, you take care of the family. Oh, yeah, you're a good mom, you're a good worker. But God never intended for us to minister from depletion. And like the Psalms 23 said, my cup runneth over. You you have to pour from an overflow. That's what we should aim for, pouring from an overflow. David didn't say his cup was empty. He didn't say it was full. He said it overflowed. So that we need to know. God's design has always been overflow, overflow. Your overflow, you're not, if you're overflow, you're not exhaustion. And that's why I say inner peace is now the new rich. We're talking about rich in terms of money, material things, but inner peace, that's the new rich. The world measures wealth by possession. God measures wealth by peace. Jesus said, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Money cannot purchase peace. Status cannot produce peace. Recognition cannot replace peace. The richest woman in the room, in this room, is the woman whose heart rests in God. And we look at, are we living in alignment? When we live outside of alignment, when our words, our thought, our action are not matching up, everything feels harder. We feel pulled into every direction, trying to please everyone, trying to meet every expectation, trying to become who everyone else wants us to be. But Amos asks, can two walk together except they agree? Alignment begins when our thoughts, our values, our decision, and God's purpose begin walking together. So ask yourself, am I living from purpose or pressure? Am I making decisions from faith or fear? Am I chasing success or obedience? Because when we align ourselves with God, clarity replaces confusion. Peace replaces anxiety. Purpose replaces performance. Our struggle or challenges are not our curse. Many of us have asked, Lord, why? Why this season? Why this loss? Why this day? Why this disappointment? Perhaps today God is inviting us to ask a different question. Lord, what are you teaching me from this situation? And in James, we said, count it all joy, knowing that the trying of your faith worketh patience. I've learned something new. Our struggle, our challenges are not our curses. What they are our courses. And that's why I said that when we look at our experiences, from that we can form our purpose. From that we can have the courses, the classes, the workshop, the whatever you want to have, because our courses can become our courses. Every course has lesson. Every course has assignment. Every course has tests. Every course requires growth. If we quit the course, we delay the lesson. But when we trust God through the process, He prepares us for the next season. Romans remind us, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God. Notice, God didn't say all things are good. He said He works all things together for our good. So instead of asking, why me? Ask, what is God revealing? What strength is he building? What wisdom is he developing in me? Who am I becoming? Sometimes our greatest blessing arrive disguised as the greatest struggle. And we learned this song as kids, roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the street. What if the little song contained a spiritual lesson? God gives us the boat. He provides the stream. God already knows where the river leads, but he still asks us to row your boat. Faith is partnership. And James again tells us, faith without work is dead. Sometimes we're waiting for God, while God is waiting for us to pick up the oars, to pick ourselves up to do the stuff. Keep rowing, keep believing, keep praying, keep trusting, even when the current bends, even when the challenges come, even when the disappointment comes. Keep going. Even when you fall down, let's get up. God already knows what's around the corner. Sometimes if we could just see what's around the corner, we will keep moving. Forgiveness and release. Part of going within means letting go, not just forgiving ourselves, but forgiving others. Forgiveness is not pretending the hurt never happened. Forgiveness is refusing to allow the hurt to define your future. Today, release what wounds you, whatever hurt you, just release it and choose what heals you. Release what depresses you and choose what gives you life. Release what keeps you bound and embrace freedom Christ offers. Forgiveness is choosing God's truth over yesterday's pain. Oh, how we live our life on the outside. If we can just go within, everything we need. Jesus reminds us that we are in this world, but not of it. We're not defined by our past. We're not defined by our mistakes. We are not defined by someone else's opinion. We are defined by the one who created us. So today, remember, the truth about us is not what we have been thought, not what we have been through. The truth is who God is shaping us to become. So let us go within, and you will discover his peace. Go within, and you'll discover his purpose. Go within, and you'll discover his strength. Because the same God who creates you lives within you. So, as you leave today, I want you to remember 4 things. Go within, guard your peace, trust the process, keep rowing. Because our struggles aren't our curses. They are our courses. God will faithfully bring us to the place he has prepared us for. Remember, inner peace is the new rich. Not because life is perfect, but because the Prince of Peace lives within us. And Paul says in Ephesians 3 verse 20, Now unto him that is able to do exceeding and abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Notice where the power is, not merely around us, not only above us, the power is working within us. So again, I say, let us go within that we can rise above. And God bless you, strengthen you, and remind us all every day of who we are. We are more than just the physical. And so I leave you with this line. Know the truth about who you are. Manage the facts about what's happening around you, but hold on to that vision for yourself, always going within. And with that, I say thank you all for having me this morning, listening to me as I share. And like I said, this is part of my journey. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much,
Sure.
Veronica and Linda, for leading up to. And this you have touched a couple of buttons for me today. And one of them is the fact that we, not we might be, we definitely are pouring into so many other things, especially women. Of course, men do it too, but women have the natural propensity to move away from themselves and pour into others. And so my pouring into for the last 4.5, maybe 5 years now, is pouring into my job, my day job, and not conscious that I'm doing that and moving away from other things. So much so that so many other things get affected, even including my financial situation. And so that is one of my main takeaways, Veronica, Coach Veronica, from your lesson today, from your message. Take the time now to pause, to be still, to be quiet, and look at all the aspects of it. Rather than leaving out something, look at everything. And of course, you got to go within for that, to build your empire within. Never got to talk about the imagination being the same as God. Looking at God. What's God doing within? And because I'm not going to say slipped up on that, you know, Premier Linda here knows probably more about my issues than know that. That's why she's my chief of staff. And yes, so that is one thing that I'm gonna start this week. You have some questions here. You know, this is gonna take a couple of weeks for me to thread out everything, because everything is so on point and important.
Yeah, that is so true, Margie, because again, I'm going to go back to the job thing, which I've had conversation with some people around the same topic of the job. And it's because a lot of time we we are so connected that we feel that I have to do this because if I don't, I can't pay the bill or I can't. But if we really go within and we really know the truth and believe that God has provided all that we need. If you're at work and you're uncomfortable, or if you're at work and you feel stressed, if you're at work and you feel overworked, these are signs to tell you that you got to check yourself. Is
Mm-hmm.
this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Is
Mm-hmm.
this really what my purpose is, our spirit is leading me to be. Because
Mm-hmm.
we should never feel tired and overwhelmed, and you go to work and you don't want to be there because you want to be doing something else and you can't do it because you have no time to do it. You got to sit with yourself and you got to say, either I got to shift work or something, but I am out of alignment. You just got to keep on doing that. If you're in alignment, you go to work, you're happy. You wake up in the morning, you can't wait to
Can't
get
wait
there.
to go to.
But if you're not feeling all of that, you've got to check yourself. And sometimes too, like we said, we're placed in situation and our challenges are not necessarily here to really wreck us or throw us off. Sometimes it is here because this is the experience we need in order to get on the other side. So
Yes.
when we are going to help others, you know that you have been through that and you can say to
Mm-hmm.
them, look,
Mm-hmm.
you got to make a decision. You can't sit here and want to be over there. At
Right.
some point in time, you might have to give up one of these in
Mm-hmm.
order to feel
Yes,
at
totally.
peace, at
Mm-hmm.
ease as you work. Yeah.
Yes, that is so great. You're dropping some nuggets here. And yes, sometimes we look at our struggles and our situations as if it's a curse, and you leave us with a nugget here. Your curse is actually your course, your
Mhm.
seminar, your workshop. You
Yeah.
know, something that, oh my God, this person put this curse on me. No, not a curse. Yes, I love that. It is your course of study to
Yeah.
move you away from XYZ. So, as you said, look at your challenges, look at your all the things that you have been needing, all those things that cause you to make a beeline. What are those things? Those are the things that you gather your life experiences, and so you can
Yeah.
teach it or share it or have that experience with
Hmm.
somebody, rather than running around like a chicken without a head and say, oh, what's going on, no, you said what? Ask God, what is this
Yeah.
challenge here to teach me, because this is what I'm going to package and take over here and
Yeah.
explore with someone else. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for that. Mm.
Definitely, definitely. And what is the truth within that we have? I like the way you said, Veronica, to take time to sit quietly with yourself and ask those very powerful questions. Instead of saying why, you say what? What am I to learn from this experience? And look at it
Mhm.
as you say, of course, and don't give up on that.
Yeah.
And then the other part was, we cannot pour from an empty cup.
Right.
Wow.
We must
Yes.
go within to be filled. Like you were
Hmm.
having that example of David, inner peace. God measures the wealth within us
Yeah.
by the peace that we have and that we share with one another.
Yeah.
It's so profound how, when we really sit down and reflect on that, allow other thoughts to pass us by, as though I like to envision the thoughts that come to my mind when I'm sitting in a peaceful place. If something comes to my mind, I imagine it as a cloud in movement, and I let it go and try not to follow that thought and connect it to other things. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so I like how you're telling us to practice
Yeah.
that. And life is a practice. You have
Yes,
shared
it
that as well
is.
another time.
Yeah.
But life is so much a practice. And I will use your guidance on
Yeah.
everything. It does begin by the word, powerful
Right.
words that we state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we talk about, even again, going back to the work. When you're stressed, tired, you have no time to think. You can barely eat. You can't do, there's no space for you to do your personal stuff. And you're pouring from an empty cup. You're really pouring from an empty cup. You're showing up for work and you're doing stuff, but at the same time, you're draining out. So you have to really pull yourself back,
Yep.
sit with yourself, and see what's happening.
And
Because remember, all we have is this moment, this present day. And if Spirit is downloading stuff for me to do, but yet still I'm going against that because I got to do the job. You
Mm-hmm.
got you're on an assignment, but you're so taken up with a job that you say, I gotta make, but God provides.
Mm-hmm.
So let it, if you'd be surprised if we just let it go, make some adjustment, how things flow. And I seen that work for me because I was like the person on an hamster wheel. I had like three jobs at one time, just going, going, going.
Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
And I had a brick and mortar nurse's uniform store. So I had a store plus I was working. And not just one job or two jobs.
Wow.
And so when COVID came, and this is why that COVID that came, it was a level playing field for a lot of us. Because when COVID came and I could not do some of the stuff that I used to do, I still survived. I
Yes.
closed a brick and mortar just before COVID. So that was one. Then COVID came and another was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And yet still, I was able to flow so much better because for
Mm-hmm.
one, I was home more. Two, I was able to look at my bills and pay them on time because before, yeah, you were making the money, but you don't even have time to pay the bills.
Pay the bills.
Then you got to pay the late fee.
Oh yeah.
Then you're running into different stuff. So
Overdraft
for
fees.
me, it
Yes.
just showed me that,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't need to be doing all of that.
Mm.
Because I'm telling you, I came out the year after COVID and COVID year. I made more than I was making before
When
COVID,
you were running,
and I
right?
was doing less.
Wow.
So again, that's what we're saying. We gotta focus because God is saying, I provide. And then we have to go within and say, what is this teaching me? What do you want me to do today?
Mm.
So that's
Mm.
it.
Ah, yes. The peace, inner peace is the new rich. Where you
Yes.
got that from? But
Yes.
that's rich.
Inner peace is the new rich, I'm
Yes.
telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow. Now, once you have peace, it's like everything else is drawn to you, it's magnetized to you.
Yeah.
Wow. So we aim for that, aim to align ourselves with the spirit of truth, and peace will come, and along comes some other
Yep.
things.
But to add on to your inner peace,
Okay.
with that inner peace comes clarity that replaces confusion, as you put it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes time to get there. Everyone be reminded that the life is a practice. And don't get frustrated. It's going to take time to embrace this way of thinking, because we were um, taught a different way of really thinking to go through life. And there's so many distractions that
Mm-hmm.
one has to continue practicing um,
True.
this new way of thinking and using what you said. You know, have clarity brought upon yourself by replacing the confusion through your faith and trust and belief that within is the answer
It's the
to
answer.
knowing thyself. Mm, thank you. Yes, thank you, Veronica
Yes. Great.
and
Thank
Reverend.
you.
Okay, great.
Coach Veronica, thanks for your contribution this morning. And I like your saying, inner peace is the new rich. And I'm also taking away, wealth is measured in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Beautiful. Another takeaway for me here, or observation, is I remember that little um, poem, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily,
Yes.
merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yes, our life is an illusion. However, you said that God gave us the boat, God gave us the stream, and He also supplied us with the oars.
Mm-hmm.
And He puts us there and says, now do your thing. And we're folding our arms and saying, well, let me see how this boat is gonna move now.
Exactly.
because there
Yeah.
is a request of us. We have to do something. We must do something.
We must.
We must.
Don't forget the part that God knows where the stream ends
God knows where the
Yes.
stream ends. Yeah,
and where it's
exactly where it's
taking you to,
going.
where
Yes,
it's
yes,
going. Right, right.
Exactly.
exactly where it's
Exactly.
going.
Yeah.
And we're there thinking that, okay, I have this boat and I have these oars and I have the river here, and you really expect me to do something else with this? Okay, so
Yeah.
let's see. Yeah, we ought to do something. Taking inspired action
Yeah.
is because God gave us the intelligence and the memory as well as to how to move. We are inspired, so we should be motivated to move. But sometimes we just don't. We need someone to slap us on the back to get us going. But yes, I we gotta pay attention to that too.
But
Yes,
also, I think that once we're showing up to conversation like these, it
yes,
means that we're on the path, because
yes.
you can't unknow what you know. And there's a reason why you're here this morning and you're
Mm.
hearing this. And so it's for you to use it, or it support what you are saying. But once you know it,
You
you
can't
send people
unknow.
there to tell you. And as long as you hear it, you just can't say you never hear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't deny it. Yeah. So the last four things you said that we should take away, just recap what those are.
Then
Tell me
these
Go
are the
within.
four things. Go within, guard
Yeah.
your peace,
guard your peace.
trust the process, and keep rowing.
Guard your
Yeah.
peace. You said is the second one.
Yeah,
Go within, guard your peace, and
trust the process
trust the process. Okay.
and keep rowing.
Okay. Gotcha.
And in everything we do, this statement, know the
Mhm.
truth about yourself, know the
Mhm.
truth, the
Yeah.
facts, just manage the
Manage
facts.
those. Yes.
It's like your bank account, it is saying zero, but know the truth of who you are and whose you are. And
Yes.
God say he provides. So you
Yep.
know that as a truth. So although the bank book is saying zero, you know something is gonna turn up from somewhere. You don't know where, but just trust it. So
Just
you
trust
know
it.
the truth. You manage the facts that
Mm-hmm.
okay, the bank says zero. I can't write this check today,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that there's a possibility it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't go to the bank and say, oh no, God say I should have 100,000. Know the facts. Know the facts.
You got to
And
manage the
then, but
facts.
you hold that vision for yourself that I know based on the truth of who I am, I will rise above all this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in that rising, we, like Marcia said, we have to take inspired action. Without taking the
Yes,
action, nothing is going to appear
exactly.
differently in your life. If
Yeah.
you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking one way, you're going to have the same results. You have to change your way of thinking in order
Yeah.
to get a different experience
True.
in
And you
life.
got to do
And
your
so,
maths, know
do
your
it right.
numbers,
Oh,
Know
your
our
all that.
numbers.
numbers. Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Yes, ma'am. All right. So with that song, we can wrap up this segment and say thank you, Coach Veronica. Thank you for all who contributed to the discussion. It was so
You're
Thank you,
so
Coach.
and
welcome.
rich in terms of yes, we
Welcome.
gain some peace. Okay, peace is the new rich.